Hi there, welcome to this abridged version of my review of Áfàméfùnà and Nwa-Boi story. This movie is written by Anyawu, Sandra, Adaora and directed by Kayode, Kassum. For its synopsis, it says, after his friend is found dead, a prominent man is questioned by the police about their complex history together in the Igbo apprenticeship system. Now, I was very excited about this movie, and once it dropped, I could not wait to see it. So stay with me and find out how I felt after watching this movie. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I should say this right off that there's a long version of this review where I really break down all the points I make here. All right, let's get straight to it. What worked? Number one, cast and performances. The cast was great. This was a stellar cast. Wonderful, incredible, really talented and really experienced actors. We had Kanayo, Segun Arinze, Alex Ekubo, Stan Nze. Then we had Atlanta, Bridget Johnson, and she does not fall in this what worked section. So also, this was a really good looking cast, and the transition from young actors to the older. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention Paul Nwa-Boi, the younger Afam. He was incredible. So this was a really good cast, and the performances were strong. The subject matter also, as well as the premise, tackling the subject of the Igbo apprenticeship system. That's something that is so incredibly important to a huge population of the country. So this was such an important subject, and I'm so glad that they took it up and decided to tell this story. I loved some of the sound, not all of it, some of the score as well, but especially whenever we had the flutes, that was very good. I loved also finally the name of this film, which is also the name of the title character, Áfàméfùnà, my name will not be lost, is the translation. Now to what did not work. I did not think Atlanta Bridget Johnson should have been cast for this role. We have the cousin from America. I don't know what she was doing here. The filmmaking, I didn't feel the cinematography and the directing. I thought it could have been better in so many ways. I didn't care much for production design. This world was too small and the look was pretty dull. I thought that it could have been more exciting. I wasn't crazy about the plot or the structure, and I wasn't sure if this was an Nwa-Boi story or the Nwa-Boi story, and I explained that in the extended version of this. I thought that there was a lot of exposition and also a lot of foreshadowing using narration, and also the narration gave an excuse for this movie to do more telling than showing. I think, in my opinion, that Afam could have been the narrator character, and that I think this would have been a better story. I thought that the investigation was unnecessary to this movie, and the way it ended was just insane. I don't know why Amaka was being questioned at some point as from the point of view of like a narrator. They did not really establish the relationship between Paul, and so when all that conflict and chaos came up, it didn't feel earned. Paul's betrayal also was not well set up to where I cared enough about it or saw why it continued for so long to where it was the entire conflict of this movie. So it wasn't well set up, and also the murder when it happened was just plot convenience because they didn't know how to tie that story together. I did not care about this love story. I don't think Afam loved Amaka, and I don't think Amaka loved Afam either. The paternity was just crazy because there was an overlap in the relationship between Amaka and Paul and Amaka and Afam, and I don't see how neither of them figured out that maybe there was a way this child might not have been Afam's child. There were so many things also with the story that I can't really go into in this short version, but more importantly, by the end of it, I didn't feel that I knew any more about the Igbo apprenticeship system than I knew coming in. There was nothing about timelines or expectations or how the system works as a whole, who ends up here, how it functions, just nothing. And then the way Kanayo treated Paul, I feel that Paul's character was unnecessarily villainized because of how he was treated by Odogu, that's Kanayo's character. So this was a classic Esau and Jacob story, and I always rooted for Esau in that story. So I'm just going to say that in conclusion, I think that this film could have been much better made. I really wanted to like this film, but I did not really care for this film. I couldn't connect to it. I really tried. It was okay. It was inoffensive. It took no risks, and that was exactly what was wrong with it. It took no risk. It was inoffensive. It was bland. So I know that this is the best film for the first quarter, but it's been a really bad quarter, so that's not saying much that it was the best of the worst. So that's it for Áfàméfùnà. Please watch my extended version of this review where I do a deep dive on the things that I've talked about here. Thank you so much for your attention, and what do I always say? You have the right to an incredible viewing experience, so never settle. And now I'm going to play you my flute. That didn't happen.